I like table tennis. I love table tennis. I played table tennis actively in 1992, 93, 94, 95. So LifePage was conceived 2001. I was working in the bookstore at the time. That was where I picked my passion for reading and all of those things. And it was there I started scribbling thoughts and inspirations I was getting. That document is still in a file till date. At the time, it wasn't LifePage, that was the name. It was Pages of Life. So it was this. I thought about and ruminated on Pages of Life. By the time you say Pages of Life Limited, rapture may have taken place. So 2008, a few months after I got married, I called a few friends together who were my colleagues at work where I was working at the time. I was working in an investment banking firm. We went to stockbroking, portfolio management, funds management, investment advice. We were doing a whole lot of those things then. I built a team at the time. Two of these guys were part of those teams. I had several others that were also as close to me, but I called them together. At the time also, that organization where we worked, it was the model, the business model of that company was a company within the company. I was, for the most part of that experience, was an entrepreneurial employee. In other words, I was responsible for the profit of my division. So if I didn't produce, if I didn't generate profits, I would go hungry. So, and also, that was where I learned, that was where I developed my leadership skill, literally. So I called these gentlemen together. The initial idea was that we're going to register our own company as a company within that company. That was the idea. So even though the company was originally conceived, I thought that this would be a good place. In that organization, the company used to do a lot of words, a lot of empowerment and all of those things. So I envisioned that we can carry that on with this company, LifePage, led vision at the time. But as time went on, I knew I couldn't, I didn't want any conflict of interest, so I was focused. It was impossible for anybody to even think I was ever going to leave the company. And I never planned to leave the company at the time. Honestly, I didn't. And so, operate fully. We're just doing a lot of skeletal, a lot of brainstorming, and all of those things. At the time the company was registered, there wasn't clarity of what particular business, products, and services we're going to render. But by 2012, I ran into an opportunity through another friend of mine who said, there's this 21 acres somewhere. Would we be interested in taking it up along with them? So we will take 10 acres, they will take 11 acres. I said, fantastic. So that was a good opportunity to launch. And since wealth creation is at the core of our purpose, the thought had not always been that it would be real estate alone. It had just been that we do business. But when that opportunity presented itself, that was how we rode on the wing of that opportunity, and that was how we got started. So we started marketing that product, that particular landed property. That was our pilot project. We called it LifePage Gardens those days.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're connected from all over. We want to welcome you to today's event. If you're excited to be here, let's see your emojis. I want to say a big welcome to you, those online and those on site. It's such an amazing honor to have you here. Just to know that, oh, fantastic. I can see the emojis already. I can see the reactions, more reactions. Can we see that from our online audience? Use your favorite emoji if you're excited to be here. We'd also like to know where you're joining from. Can we know your location wherever you are? Kindly put that in the chat box. Let's see. We're excited to have you here. Distance is not a barrier, you know, so it's so good to have you here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oye, someone Olukunle, good morning. Oludayo, good morning. Michael, good morning, good morning. We'll improve the audio. We can see all of your comments. Oh, great. You say the audio is good now. Fantastic. I'm super excited. I'm pumped. I haven't seen our locations yet. Where are you joining from? Lagos, Ibadan, London. Oh, I can see Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. Oh, Shodi, Lagos, Nigeria. Fantastic. Uyo, good to have you. If you have friends and family members that you think should be connected here and they are yet to be here, I'd like you to reach out to them, tell them we have started. It's live. We're not wasting any time. It's going to be value for your time. So please tell your friends and family, loved ones that we have started already. Okay, I can see Ibadan, I can see Ogbomosho, I can see Oyo Town, I can see River State, I can see Arekpo, I can see Magboro. Okay, fantastic. Ikeja. Fantastic. I'm sure that as we are here, we have expectations. There are reasons why we came here. There are things that we expect to learn or opportunities that we hope to harness. Sweden, fantastic. I can see you. Thank you for joining us. Aja, fantastic. Good to have you join us. I just want to set some ground rules. I think it's very important for us to know that we need to take away every form of distraction that you have around you. And that includes our mobile phones. I want to implore us that are here on site to please put our phones on silent mode or put it on vibration. And this is so that you don't miss out on any important segments today. If you have any questions, you can use the Q&A button or you can use the chat box as well for your questions. And your questions will be duly noted. We'll take note of them. You can, please, on no account should you unmute your mic. Please ensure that your mic is muted all through this program. And this is so that you and other participants will have an amazing experience today. And for those on site, if you need anything at all, you can reach out to any of the member of staff of LifePage and they'll be happy to help you. So I want to implore us as we start today with the welcome address. I want to encourage us to stay connected, stay engaged, and I know that for those online, the network will do you good today. Okay, so let's go straight into it with a welcome address from LifePage. Distinguished guests and esteemed facilitators, a warm welcome to you all. On behalf of LifePage, it is my absolute honor and privilege to welcome you to this highly anticipated Global Wealth Creation Summit 2024 edition. We are truly delighted to have such diverse and motivated individuals gathered here today, all united by a common desire to learn the secrets of financial success and sustainable wealth. In today's evolving economic landscape, the ability to create and retain wealth is an essential life skill. You would all agree with me. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or a dedicated career professional aiming for financial security, this summit is designed to empower you with the knowledge, strategies, and insight necessary to achieve your goals. We are truly privileged to have Dr. Hide Emmanuel and Dr. Oladipupo Clement as our esteemed facilitators. Their expertise, combined with their passion for empowering individuals, promises to make this a truly transformational event for each and every one of us. Their understanding of wealth creation, drawn from years of experiences in their respective fields, will no doubt guide you on the pathway to success that we may not have considered before. LifePage is dedicated to making lives richer, and financial empowerment is one of the tools we use in facilitating this process. We empower individuals on their path to financial prosperity, firmly believing that education is the foundation for sustainable wealth. This summit is a way of giving back to our community, fostering a platform for exchanging ideas, developing strategies, and sowing seeds of lasting financial success. As we begin the summit together, I urge you to keep an open mind, engage actively, and approach it with a thirst for knowledge. The insights you gain here have the power to reshape your finance if you apply them. Let's all make the most of this opportunity. Thank you for being a part of this exciting event. I wish you an enlightening and transformative Global Wealth Creation Summit. Let the learning begin. If you're excited to be here, I'd like to give yourself a round of applause. If you're online as well, we want to see your emoji. Thank you, Chris from Sokoto, all the way. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. From Kaduna as well. Thank you. Thank you. A round of applause for yourselves, Undufreke, Juwon, Kodri. It's so amazing to have each and every one of us here. So without much ado, we'll be going into the business of the day, and I will be reading the profile of our first guest speaker. If you are excited, if you are ready, I can't see your excitement. I can't see your excitement. Okay, fantastic. I can see that. I can see that. And I can see the smiles on the faces of everyone that we have present here that we are ready. I hope we have our pen, our paper, our notepads. All distractions are away from us, our minds, our hearts, our spirits, and our soul. We are ready to hear today because we're going to be listening to our very, very first facilitator, who is the CEO of LIFEPAGE. Take us through the first segment, and I will be reading his very brief profile. People who have done a lot, they don't need to blow their trumpets too much. Their works speak for them. And so let's enjoy this brief profile, and then we'll welcome OC. Oladipupo Clement is a respected authority in wealth creation, business growth, and strategic planning with over 2 decades of professional experience. He holds an MBA from the Business School Netherlands and is a highly sought-after conference speaker. Oladipupo is the best-selling author of Financial Freedom Master Guide and mentors thousands of people on wealth creation and retention strategies. Currently serving as the CEO of LIFEPAGE in both Nigeria and the United States of America, Oladipupo has also co-founded companies in the construction and software development sectors. With so much joy in your heart and a thirst for knowledge, can I see you jam your hands together? A big round of applause for our very, very first guest. I mean, if you do not celebrate him, he's not going to come up. And just to know if you're really ready, please put in your expectations. We want to see your expectations. Put in your expectations in the chat box. Thank you very much.
Please help me celebrate Stella. And please celebrate yourselves. All right. So thank you very much for making time out to be here. My name is Oladipupo Clement, and I know some of you can't wait to hear Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. He will be the next speaker. I learned this many years ago. The first event LIFEPAGE ever hosted was in 2011, July 16th, in Kwara Hotel, Ilorin, Kwara State. And I made a decision from that time on that never would I speak after Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, because the tempo will be so high, you can't match. And so, so it has become a tradition that even before he shows up, I have to do my own job. Please, I also want you to help me celebrate all members of staff, all our community managers, all our partners for a great job well done. A lot has gone into this, a lot of preparation. I understand some people even slept over in the office. A lot has been going on. So I want to sincerely use this opportunity to appreciate everyone. And in absentia, appreciate my very revered mentor, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. My session isn't brief, but I'll try to make it brief. Isn't brief, but I'll try to make it brief. For those of you who may not know, I authored this book titled Financial Freedom Master Guide. Some of the things I'm going to share, you'll find them there. Some of the things I will not be able to touch on, you will also find them there. This program is a reflection of our purpose as a business. We did not go into real estate because others do real estate. We went into real estate because we found it to be a veritable tool for creating and retaining wealth. And that's pretty much why we went into real estate. So today, if you do not yet have a copy of this book, the book currently sells for 19,500 Naira, but you can get it for 10,000 Naira only for today. So I thought somebody would be excited about that. You may not know the value
someone said, if you want to hide anything from a black man, he said, keep it in a book. He won't read it. So don't be that kind of a person. All right. I'm sharing with us today on how to create wealth as an entrepreneur. So if you don't mind, those of us online, thank you very much. Those of you joining from different parts of the world, different parts of Nigeria, we deeply appreciate you. Can you all hear me? If you can hear me, say type 5. Those of you online, can you type 5? If you can hear me loud and clear, type 5. Again, if you are struggling, if you are having serious connection problems on Zoom, you may want to go on our YouTube channel, Enrich TV by LIFEPAGE. If you are struggling to stabilize because of network issues, you may go on Enrich TV by LIFEPAGE. You will also do well to subscribe to that YouTube channel. All right. There's a whole lot that goes on that platform from time to time, and it will be of tremendous value to you. Also, I have a very, very, very engaging and valuable YouTube channel as well, at Oladipupo Clement. At Oladipupo Clement. So you will do well also to follow and subscribe to that YouTube channel. All right. So how to create wealth as an entrepreneur. Of the almost 25 years of my working experience, I've only been a salary earner for only 2 years, 10 months. Please, let's keep all those on Zoom permanently muted. Permanently muted. Let's do the setting that way so that we avoid any form of distractions. So of almost the 25 years of my working experience, I've only been a salary earner for only 2 years, 10 months. And I've been an entrepreneur for the most part. And so you can understand my wiring. I don't think from the standpoint of salary. It doesn't just work. It doesn't connect. I like the test. I like the pressure. That's what brings out the very best in me. It wasn't so in the beginning. I considered it punishment, but it changed along the line. 7 years of those entrepreneurial journey for me, I spent it as an entrepreneurial employee, meaning that I was responsible for the profit of my division. So if my division wasn't generating money and generating revenue, my family would go hungry. So you could understand, nothing prepared me adequately for entrepreneurship, for business, like the last place I worked. And I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. That was where I honed my leadership capacity, leadership skills. That was when I overcame timidity and shyness. I could hardly look at anybody right in their face until I went through that. As an organization, we started without a dime of our own. We started without a dime to our name. And so, to the glory of God, we've built the business. And the business today now has assets in multi-billions. All through my entrepreneurial journey, I've experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly. People may want to be like you, but they don't want to know your story. I can't even go into the details. My objective in this presentation is to condense some of my lessons. And I really, really hope that we'll all pay rapt attention. Please, let's keep this Zoom permanently muted to avoid any form of distraction. It is the settings. You go do that. Please. Please. You know, some people are not so familiar and so conversant with the use of Zoom. So to avoid them interrupting us, let us interrupt them by permanently keeping them muted. Do we understand? All right. Are we still together? So my objective, like I said, is to condense some of my lessons to help entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, make smarter choices, which if I had made, I'll certainly be better off. But again, it's not going to be born out of regrets. Because you see, life is lived forward but understood backward. And the day you wake up is when your morning starts. And this is why today I consider myself wiser than I was 25 years ago. Now let's get right into this. Owning and running a business must never be your dream. I know I'm speaking to, there are two classes of people in this room. Those who are already entrepreneurs. I don't want to start to find out which of you are entrepreneurs. Those of you who are entrepreneurs, and there are others who are career people, professionals, who are looking to start their own businesses. And so, one of the things I'm certain about is the fact that whether you are on this side of the divide as an entrepreneur already in business, or you are looking to start a business, what I want to share with you will be of tremendous value to you. One thing I know is that for those who have not started at all, it is better to manufacture weapon before you get into battlefront. Otherwise, you become a casualty. All right? So if you've never started a business before, you don't even know what it means to run a business, then this is still going to be of tremendous value. But if you're already in the field of play, you never outgrow the need for learning. And it is better to learn from other people's experience than to learn from your personal experience. So owning a business or running a business must never be your dream, but essentially what it will deliver. And this is so important. What it will deliver. What it will deliver to you and to the people you serve. That must be the driver, because you see, of all the vehicles of wealth creation, business is, in my opinion and from experience and research, is the fastest for creating wealth. Is the fastest for creating wealth. And I'm going to touch on that in a bit. So, owning a business, running a business should never be the dream. What should be the dream is what the business would deliver. Do we understand what I'm talking about? So you should only use business as a means to an end and not an end in itself. This is so critical. This is so critical. I wish I thought about business this way before I launched out some 12 years ago. And by the way, LIFEPAGE will be 12 years, 2nd of May, exactly a few days from now. And so, I wish I understand, or rather, I wish I understood what I'm sharing now, some 12 years ago. And so when I'm talking, I'm not talking just from somebody just capture something from Google and then or read something from a book and regurgitate, especially if you run a business in Nigeria. I said it to someone recently, and I say it often, that running business anywhere in the world is a tough job. But running it in Nigeria is toughest job. Because anything that can go wrong, can go wrong. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is predictable. Are we still together? You can do everything right in Nigeria and still go wrong. I know a lot about business planning, strategy, and all of those things. But see, business will cost you more than you planned. Especially in Nigeria. Okay? So whatever the dream is, for me, it is financial freedom. For the people I serve, it's also financial freedom, except it does not align. So the purpose for which I'm going to business is financial freedom. And for the same reason is why we do what we do. So if financial freedom is a dream, then you should design and set up your business model to deliver that. Okay? Otherwise, it will become a trap. And unfortunately, many of us in business love our traps. We love our bondage. Some of us, are comfortable with the idea that we are not making money, but we are serving people. I was there for many years. And I'm still in the process. In fact, sometimes I think I should be in charity. I should be running a charitable entity and not necessarily in business. But I'm getting to rewire that side of my life little by little. Now, even if you want to keep building other new businesses. Part of the things I'm going to share here is you must do the following. You must do the following. Once you start business, it takes between 3 to 5 years for a business to really stabilize. All right? It takes between 3 to 5 years. If you do the right things, it takes between 3 to 5 years. Research has shown that more than 80%, about 80% of businesses that start die within the first 5 years. And another 80% of the remaining 20% die in the next 5 years. So hardly would you see. So the business casualty is unbelievable in around the world. So, and it's not only peculiar to Nigeria. It's just that there are other factors that you only find in Nigeria that snuff out the light out of business. So if you intend and you have the vision to keep building and start other new businesses, which this one I want to share now, I didn't understand it. Because diversifying too early can kill a business. Okay, can kill a business. Can overstretch the resources of the business, and then you can be overrunning the business beyond the capacity of the people that the business currently has. But before you start doing that, some of the things you may want to consider is to create a buffer. So once a line of business is already doing well, you want to create a buffer of between $1 million, and $3 million somewhere that can establish cash flow so that you can take new levels of risk. Are you getting what I'm talking about? So that you can take new levels of risk. So between $1 million and $3 million. Now that will vary from person to person. It also depends on the number of factors. Some of the factors could be that you have, you want a situation where whether the new businesses succeed or not, you have what it takes to sustain the businesses, and you can take big risks. Am I communicating here? Now, if you are in business, you would understand what I'm talking about. And some of us, before you launch your business, you go and listen to this again. You would understand it better. I hope you know, for those of us who are married now, there were things we read in books about marriage before we got married. And we thought we understood marriage. It was when we entered, we understood that theory is different from practical. Who understand what I'm talking about here? All right. Now, for your business to be able to get to that point where you would have between $1 million to $3 million as a buffer, somewhere that is giving you between 10 and 20% ROI every year, untouched, passive cash flow, then you need systems. You need systems. And so let me quickly touch on this, because these systems is exactly what I wish I knew. I had the understanding that I didn't want to run the business that would be entirely revolving around me. I wanted a business that can be driven by systems, driven by structure, driven by policy. That is still there. We have a lot of that. But sometimes when there are a lot of shakings, you have to adapt quickly. So you have to quickly adapt or reorganize and all of that. So those things do happen. But you need a system if you must achieve the original objective and intention for which you started, which is what? Financial freedom. So you are using the business as a vehicle, as a transportation to the wealthy place. Am I communicating here? Okay. Now, so what exactly is a system? A system is anything, a tool or software, any person or persons that saves you stress, time, energy, and money. A system is anything, any tool, any software, any person or persons that saves you stress, time, energy, and money. If nothing at all, a system will help you create once and ensure repeatability. Okay? And it helps you to reproduce the order of results with little or no input from you. The test of an effective and efficient system is if it does not always require you to continue to produce. So I want to drop a few notes. I know there's a lot I'm dropping here, and I know if you are not a businessman or woman, or you are not already playing that role, because you see, you can own a business and not necessarily run the business. True or false? And you can run a business and not necessarily own the business. Some of us may fall into any of those categories, but whichever one you fall into, you will still find that at some point you will still need to run something. You still need to drive something for it to produce at the initial stage. It is system that will keep it going with or without you. And that's why these things are very, very important. So let me share a few thoughts that I believe will prepare you if you want to create wealth as an entrepreneur. Some people will want to define an entrepreneur as someone who takes risk, as somebody who starts new ventures and all of that. I don't want to do definitions. You'll find out by yourself. Few thoughts that I think you should take to heart. One, have a vision or dream you want the system to deliver. That was what I started with. Have a vision or a dream you want the system to deliver for your users and yourself. And when I say users, I mean your stakeholders. So whether it is they are investors, whether they are shareholders, whether they are staff, whether they are partners, distributors, suppliers, customers, have a clear vision on exactly what the system will deliver to your stakeholders and, of course, to yourself. And this is very important. Number two, you want to research top 5 in your field. Top 5 in your field, in your sector or your industry, who already have attained the dream that you have. This same vision, right? Using business as a transportation, as a vehicle. And then the reason this is so important is because you have the opportunity to ethically copy them, right? Innovation is not creating anything new, is improving on what already exists. Are we together? And some of the life-changing products and services that we have all experienced in the world today are all products of combination of ideas, pulled from the past and the present. So ethically copy such people or such businesses who already are doing or who already are delivering, who already have systems that deliver the type of dream that you have. Patronize them. Patronize them to discover the 90% of the iceberg you won't find on the tip or on the surface. The more you look, the less you see. And sometimes people just copy what is on the surface. They don't know that there are other things that is unseen. And sometimes you really want to dig into the systems. If you do not have access to some of those people, it would be nice that you patronize them, interact, build relationships. It will go a long way in helping you. When we started out, one of those key things I was constantly asking people who are already in the business, especially my mentors, was what are your biggest challenges? If you were to start again, what will you do differently? Today, people are still asking me the same question. Because anything created by man will always have a loophole. And whenever you think you have solved the problem, you have just created another one. When you thought, having a car will ease your stress, then you now realize that from the day you own a car, then you need the service of a mechanic, an auto mechanic. Then you need to buy spare parts from time to time. Then you need to fuel from time to time. Then you realize that if you are trapped in traffic, you can't abandon the car and hurry up wherever you are going. Then it shows another dimension of problem. Then you now realize maybe you will need a driver who can catch up with you when you are trapped in traffic. That's when other things will begin to show up, which you would never think was a problem initially. Until you get married, you never know that you need to make 100% of the income, and 95.9 or 99.9% of that income will have to be used to take care of other people. But when you got married, everybody's saying, congratulations, Congratulations. So research, that will help you to see the other 90% of the iceberg that you are not familiar with. Number 3, for every problem your business solves, a new problem is created. I already mentioned that. So create or collaborate with others to offer products or services that solve that new problem. Now, you don't necessarily have to create a new product or service to address that problem. So let me give you an example. We are into real estate, for example. When somebody buys land and intends to build, it has created a new problem that needs solution, right? But it doesn't mean we should start a construction company necessarily. But we can collaborate with a contractor and say, okay, we'll render this service. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you get the point I'm making? So, or collaborate with a supplier or with a manufacturer to say, sorry, people will require cement to continue to build on this place. So you don't necessarily have to go and set up a factory to produce cement, all right? Or you don't need to set up a factory. These were some of the things I wish I understood fully well, at some point in the business. Again, like I said, life is lead forward, understood backward. Number 4, focus on the process and not just the outcome. Focus on the process and not just the outcome. Now, there's so much to unpack here. The reason you should focus on the process is because it will require you to, fine-tune from time to time, again and again. Okay? And life will test your resilience. Life will test, your vision, will test your conviction. If you focus on the outcome and nothing is beginning to show in the first 3-5 years, you can quit. So you need to focus on the process. You need to focus on the things you are doing on a daily basis. This is so important. Okay? Number 5, owning a business is one of the fastest ways to create wealth if you run it right. As beautiful as that is, it is also one thing that will cost you more than you plan. I said that already in the beginning. So planning or creating wealth as an entrepreneur requires dedication. It requires dedication, it requires a resilience and a willingness to learn and adapt. When the tides change, we live in a VUCAD world, right? VUCAD is an acronym for volatile. What's it called now? VUCAD, uncertain. So volatile, uncertain, complex, all right, ambiguous and disruptive. That's the world that we live in. So you need to constantly learn. And adapt to the changes, many changes that will take place. Today we live in a world where what you need 5 people to put together, what you need a department to set up. AI can help you do it now. At a click of a button, it can prepare a mail for you. Just give it instruction. 10 years ago, that wasn't there. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, social media wasn't as prominent as it is today. So at the click of a button, you can make a post today, and somebody in Australia will see it. That is hundreds of thousands of miles away from you. Okay? Now, I mentioned to you about systems, and that's what will ensure, because you are trying to create a vehicle that will help you create wealth. Is that correct? So you need a system, or you need systems. So let me talk to you about 5 systems, and if time still permits, I don't think my time is even up. How many of you still want to hear the systems? Sorry, how many of you are in business? Those of you online, how many of you are in business? If you are in business. Yes, Mr. Thompson, can you please add D to your VUCA? Knowledge is ever evolving. It's no longer VUCA anymore. VUCA was 3 years ago. It's now VUCA. All right. So let's talk about the 5 systems your business must have if it must create wealth. Number 1. How about not becoming a lecturer? maybe I should flow. Maybe I should come out. Can I step out and engage with you? Okay, so they want me to go back. Now, these systems, you will require constant rejigging from time to time. The systems will be tested. And so don't take it lightly. You must constantly, if it's not delivering what's supposed to be delivering, then it means there's still a lot of work to be done. The first system you must have in a business for it to create wealth for you as an entrepreneur is value creation systems. Value creation systems. This is the product development arm of your business. Depending if you are into manufacturing, your factory is your value creation system. All right? But there's a whole lot that goes into that. People don't buy product, they buy what it does for them. So it's important to know exactly what problem your product is solving for people. Are we together? All right? And that's essentially what you sell. You know, some people sell land. Me, I sell wealth creation. I sell wealth retention. I sell edge against devaluation, right? I sell edge against inflation, what it does for people. And value is not what you call it. Value is what the people, the end users call it. Are you following what I'm talking about? Your product or service is only value adding if it's doing the following. One, it is saving people money, or it's helping them make money, or it's saving them stress. Are you following me? Or saving them energy. How many of you would like to deal with Omonile? So that stress is what we take away from people. Omonile doesn't die because you have paid off for the land or for the property. It doesn't die. Every stage, you try to develop anything, even in the city, and I'm talking a very well urbanized area, you'll be amazed at the boys that will show up. Am I communicating here? It is the nature, it's unique to our environment. So if an American or a British is developing houses in Nigeria, they will develop migraine because it's anti-cultural to them. Am I communicating here? So what does your product do for your consumers? And now it's important also to mention here that a consumer is different from a customer. So the consumer is the end user. The customer is the one who is paying for it. Sometimes we are packaging a product for the consumer, but they are not the one who will pay for it. For example, you are running a crèche. The crèche is not for it's for pupils. It's for children. Is that correct? But they are not the ones to pay. The parents are the ones who will pay for that service. Is that correct? So when you are designing your product, you have the need of that consumer in mind, but you also are aware of the purchasing power of the one who will pay. And you know where they can be found and all of that. There's a whole lot to unpack. I can spend 2 hours on value creation alone. So people buy for one reason and one reason only. And it is their own reason. It's their own reason, not your reason. Are you following me? So this must be part of your market intelligence. This must be part of your marketing intelligence. So don't create products. I mean, this is one of the biggest problems we make. We've made that mistake again and again. And so now when we're going forward, we just ask ourselves, okay, sorry, hold on a moment. What is the market really looking for? All right? Because one of the biggest mistakes you can ever make as an entrepreneur is to create a product and then start looking for customers. You are supposed to find the need of the customers. What are they complaining about? You see, the way journalists sniff news is exactly the way an entrepreneur should sniff opportunity. An opportunity comes in overall. It comes in form of complaints here and there. And it will give you the insight to, restructure or reorganize your products or services. Now, listen to me carefully. These things are easier said than done. It's a tough job. That's why being an entrepreneur is not beans. It's not yam. Are you talking about? Listen, you can be under AC and be sweating. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Okay. So value creation system, because if you don't have anything to offer the market, there's nothing you are going to get in return. So money gravitates in exchange for problem solved. So if you don't have a viable product you are taking to the market that is adding significant value to people's lives, forget about being in business. The next important system is marketing systems. Marketing systems. Marketing systems. This is the system that builds your list of prospects. Now, you can start a business like we did. When we started this business, we started with a list of people we knew. But somewhere along the line, you will run out of those people you know. True or false? So you need a continual flow of new people who get to know, who need to know that you exist. So you need a system that drives attention and leads to your business. That's why we host events, for those of you who may not know. That's why we do a lot of empowerment programs and, put out a lot of content out there. So in your interaction with these contents, that's how our marketing is part of our marketing systems. Because we realize that in this market, we have a lot of educated people who are not really educated, who are miseducated. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Sometimes the more you know, the less you know. The more you think you know, the less you realize you know. And that's why you must constantly be open to new levels of information. Am I still communicating here? I hope I've not lost anybody here. So marketing system is very important. You want to create wealth as an entrepreneur. This is the systems. So this should be like a checklist. Now listen, you may start the business as a one person. You still need to be looking at all of this. Do you understand? When the business becomes from 1 to 2 of you, you still need to be checking this. Are you getting what I'm talking about? And then when it becomes 5 people, you need to still be checking all of these things. Now, these marketing systems is what will help you to build trust and credibility. You need to understand in business, attention is currency. Attention is money. So you need top of the mind awareness from time to time. So something that always puts you in front of people. Now, there are some of you who this is your first encounter with LifePage. Now, for those of you who are online, if this is your first time of getting to know about LifePage, can you type 10? Just type 10. Those of you online. If this is your first time you are encountering LifePage, just type 10. All right? Just type 10. Let us see. Are you following what I'm talking about? I'm talking marketing systems. So you must have structures, you must have tools that helps you, create visibility. So every business must become a media and tech company playing in their sector. Did you hear what I said? Are you people listening to me at all? Yes. Every business, regardless of the industry, if you are a veterinary doctor, you have to be a media company and a tech company as a veterinary doctor. If you are in fashion, you need to become a media and tech company for your business. So you don't have a choice. Now, this is one of the areas we made mistake as an organization in the early days and for the first 5 or 7 years. I'm the type of guy who is just cool-headed. I don't like visibility. I don't like visibility. And that's part of me is still something that I'm still working on. It took a lot of energy to put on this suit. The regular me just want to be a regular human being. Doesn't want to intimidate or can never be intimidated. Okay? The regular me is the guy that just wants to add value. I pay too less attention on making the money. So, but now I don't have a choice. I have to. But I was running away from enemies. Little did I realize that I was also becoming invisible to friends. So I was running away from people, from enemies. Should I mention some of them? You don't want me to mention them because this thing is a global event. And they won't. But they came after us the moment we started making all this noise. And then those who didn't know us began to know us. And even till now, some people say, I've never heard of LifePage. I remember one gentleman came into my office one day, and I told him that, as at that time, LifePage was just 11 years. So I said, LifePage had been in business for 11 years. He said, what? I've not heard about your company. So marketing systems put you out there. It creates visibility. And you need a lot of that. You need something that is perpetually, constantly generating new contacts. A traditional way of prospecting still works, but you also need to leverage tools. That's why we call it systems. Number 3 is sales systems. You need sales systems. Your marketing systems will do publicity, will do all of those things and generate leads for you, will even nurture those leads, but will not convert them. It is your sales system that will convert those leads into paying customers. Am I still communicating here? How many entrepreneurs do we still have in the room? Do you understand what we're talking about here? So it is sales system that convert leads or prospects into paying customers. That's what turns relationships into cash. Number 4 system, the 4th system you need to create wealth as an entrepreneur is value delivery systems. The value you created in your value creation system, which you promised in your marketing systems, right? In your marketing and sales system, it is here. You must deliver it. Am I still communicating here? You must deliver it. And so one of the gaps I have observed, even with our business, is that when we are making those promises, we don't create a checklist. So when it is time for fulfillment, there's that omission. Let's welcome my mentor. Welcome, sir. So your value delivery system, this is what we call fulfillment. So it's not enough for you to create value. It's not enough for you to create visibility and, marketing and sales. Now it's also important that you have a value delivery system. So whatever it is that you promised in marketing and sales must be delivered. And this is where quality assurance, quality control must verify everything you promise using a checklist. Do we understand what I'm saying? So there must be a checklist for every aspect of this system. There must be a checklist to confirm, has it been done? Is this in place? How many of you are familiar with auto companies abroad, not in Nigeria, abroad, where they recall vehicles because of a slight defect? I've not seen anywhere they recall anything in Nigeria. It has never happened before. We don't have consumer protection. Maybe it exists as an agency, but I don't think they function. Because we use tokumbos. So some of those tokumbos are vehicles that have even been recalled, but they've been shipped to Nigeria. Okay. Are we getting something? And finally, is financial systems. This is what shows whether you are as profitable as you should be, and if the value that you are marketing, value that you have created, marketed, and sold is worth repeating. Do you know what I'm talking about? Here is where you will evaluate whether truly this thing that you pushed out, is it viable? Because you see, The fact that you bought something for 1 naira and sold it for 2 naira doesn't mean you are profitable. In fact, that can be the beginning of your failure, of your crisis. So if it is viable, then you just simply press the repeat button. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So you see the way it goes: value creation system, marketing system, sales system, value delivery system, and financial systems. If you get the systems right, these are my other recommendations. Because don't forget, the purpose for which you started the business, the vision you had, is apart from trying to deliver, unique value to your subscribers, you are also very, very concerned about what it will deliver to you. The purpose for which you started the business was also so that you can be financially free. Hello? And if it's not delivering that, there's something that is not right. So these are my recommendations. I wish I can go on and on, but this will take a bit of time. So I can't go into that. I can't be teaching this one now. But let me advise that you identify your own niche. All customers are not yours. So define your dream customers. Cheap, affordable is relative, right? What is affordable is relative. What is expensive to someone else is just is what some people spend, So define your dream customer. And listen, your dream customer essentially are those who will give you peace of mind, and you make good margin enough to even serve them well. Also consider these 3 markets. If you're already in business and your business may fall into any of these 3 markets, okay, or can be in all of these markets. It can be in any, or it can be in all of these markets. And I call them the market where there is demand. I call them hungry markets. 1 is the wealth market. 2 is the health market. 3 is the relationship market. I don't have time to unpack it. If you play in private equity, venture capital, you play in real estate, stockbroking, crypto, forex, or whatever, you are in the wealth market, right? There's always the need for people to want to make money, save money, grow their money, and all of that. There will forever be that need. Am I communicating here? Right? How many of you have bank accounts? Let me see your hand. Banking is in wealth markets. How many of you have joined cooperative? That's in wealth markets. Health markets, whether you are a health coach, a well-being coach, or wellness coach, like they call them, or you are a medical doctor, a pharmacist, you run a diagnostic center. All of these are massive, massive business. There's a lot of money to be made in those sectors. But again, you require skill to flourish there. And in business, you need these 2 different types of skills to succeed. You need technical skill and you need business skills. Some people say, I know my job. They are only referring to technical know-how. But you need more than that to succeed in business. What I've come to realize is that people with business skills can pull technical people together and still drive. So you need leadership capacity, you need emotional intelligence, you need a lot. You need resilience. Most of the people who have technical skills hardly have courage. They are not all of the time. There are those who combine both, but you just need these 2. But if you have business skill, you can start any business and succeed. You need marketing skills, it's part of the business skill. You need ability to communicate, it's part of the business skills. Am I communicating here? Time won't permit us. The relationship skill or relationship market talks about love, sex, marriage. These are big issues today. Trauma, therapy is all in the relationship market. Conflict resolution, all sorts is relationship market. So Identify your niche. I can go on and on. Develop your unique value proposition. All of that, you do it in your value creation systems. Create a solid business plan. Build a strong online presence, because when people hear about you, the first thing they want to check out is, what do they do? Who are they? So they Google your name. And sometimes you yourself, you need to Google your name and see what you find. If what you see is not desirable, it means that you need to go and do some work on that. Develop multiple streams of income, but don't do that too early. And even when you are doing that, do it with wisdom. I'm sure that my mentor is going to come and share a lot more around some of these things. Focus on high ticket sales. Let me be honest with you. We started out trying to help people who are in the bottom of the pyramid. And it's one of the worst ways to start a business. I still had a meeting with some consultants yesterday night, and they were describing. So when I told them, say, okay, are you looking for people who want to be teaching them how to make money, or you are looking for people who already have money? And I told them, it's people who have money. It's people who have money. When you are serving those people, you can now be doing charity to help these ones. That's the proper way. Not, do you understand what I'm talking about? It's more difficult to travel a hill. It's easier to come down. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So it's better to serve people on the top and then be doing charity because if that one it doesn't produce any result, you are still good. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This one will give you a sense of fulfillment, but it does not necessarily bring revenue. Did you hear what I said? And what I've come to experience in this my few years of business experience, if you have passion and you lack income, it can lead to frustration. Next, I would suggest you do is build a sales funnel. This is another system that can keep things running for you, and they are experts in that field, in that area. You can have lead magnet funnels, you can have tripwire funnels, you can have core offer funnels. It also depends on the kind of industry in which you are playing. If you are playing in a service sector, where what you deliver is digital product, it's going to be a lot easier. Yes, they are telling me, get out of that place. They are telling me I should get out of that place. I really, really can't afford to not get out myself. Develop customer loyalty program. Develop customer loyalty program. Invest in personal development. The quality of the decisions that you take in your business cannot be better than the quality of person you are becoming. So invest in yourself. In fact, that's the number one. That's the number one investment you should make. The business can never outgrow you. So invest in yourself and in your team. And then, don't forget, we said we want to create wealth now, Abi. So in creating wealth, make sure that you invest in assets. And that's the way I think you will be able to create multiple streams of income. So you don't necessarily have to create or start something new. You can collaborate with those who are already doing it, but ensure that it has a system that will sustain it. And finally, give back. Your highest fulfillment does not come in accumulation. It comes in donation. It comes in contribution. Are we together? So there must be something from you that goes back to help others, no matter how small it is. So some people call it tithe, some people call it charity, some people call it donations, whatever name you want to give it, just make sure that something is there. But in all of this, make sure you invest in assets that gives you passive flow of income. What you are doing when you are running the business, driving the business, is active income. What you are generating is active income, because if you are not doing anything, money will not flow. So you need to, on one end, be creating asset that is giving you passive income, so that whether or not you work, money can continue to flow. For some of us in this room, it may take us 5 years before you start to be able to implement some of the other parts of these things I've shared. Some of us, we need to start implementing it right about now. I believe that the little I've shared has not bored you, has not wearied you. but has inspired you to know that, well, there's opportunity for wealth creation being an entrepreneur. I want to sincerely thank you all for your listening attention. God bless you.